Sometimes in life there's disappointment. Sometimes it's going to watch a Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight in person. Sometimes it's watching on Netflix and it being a terrible experience. Sometimes it's making a video talking about a leak or rumor. So, I made a video, put it out a couple days ago, talking about the S25 Ultra launch and how there'd been a leak of some new stuff that looked like maybe it could be, or at least it was, people were guessing maybe it might be on January the 5th because of a survey that had come out that got sent out to some manufacturer or whatever. I talked about it. And I mean, most of the video wasn't really talking about that. But the thing is we know it's going to come out in January. And no sooner did I publish the video than, like, basically an hour or two before that, a bunch of places started reporting that there was new stuff from Samsung saying, hey, looks like it might be on the 22nd. And the 22nd is very plausible. The last time it happened was S24 Ultra, S24 series launched on the 18th of January last year. So the 22nd, not a far cry. And I thought, okay, well, when I had originally seen the 5th, it kind of made sense to me because it lines up with CES. At CES, there's a bunch of stuff was unveiled. And historically, that's a big launching platform where they could get a lot of attention. So I thought, okay, having everybody one place makes sense. But if they're going to do it on the 22nd, so be it. Here's the moral of the story. Even if something comes out next week saying it's the 18th, or something comes out next week saying it's the 12th or the 25th, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. We do know it's coming out in January, and we do know certain things, like it's going to have the new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which I've got a phone here that I have the Snapdragon 8 Elite in that I've been pretty happy with the performance so far, and it should be an interesting experience because, of course, Samsung, they probably will do their Snapdragon for Samsung thing again, where they get a special, slightly better tuned chip that has a little bit more processing speed or something like that. There are a lot of questions that I got, and there were a lot of interesting conversations because some people are like, why do they launch it in January? It's so stupid. People are broke from Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. And then other people are like, well, it makes sense because people get their tax money. I'm like, well, not really, because typically when it comes to tax returns and tax refunds, actually, is most people who get large tax refunds are people who have children. And if you have children, typically you can't file that form until you can't file your taxes like the middle of February because you have to wait for a certain form to come out. I know because I used to do this for a living. So most people don't have their tax refund in January. So it is, I don't know. I don't really know why they bumped it up to January. It seems like everybody's kind of bumping it up, though. Google jumped the gun. They pushed the Pixel 9 series like 2 months early. Looks like OnePlus is going to be early with the OnePlus 13. And it seems like each year they just keep getting a few weeks early. And it would be interesting if one day we see a Samsung launch in December. Like, that would be cool because everybody buys stuff in December, right? Why not just launch the sucker the first week of December and everybody can buy it for Christmas? But I don't know. That's not the way things go. It's not everybody wants, just like everybody wanted Mike Tyson to punch Jake Paul and knock his face off. That didn't happen either. I was there. I did watch it in person. I was a little disappointed. So first and foremost, I was excited. I always wanted to see Mike Tyson in person ever since I was a kid. And it was one of those things I remember when I was growing up, and I would see my friends at church on Sunday morning because my parents wouldn't pay for it. My parents, we didn't have cable. We had a normal big Zenith TV with a wooden frame box, and all we had was the different channels. You changed the clicker knob, and yeah, there was no Mike Tyson fights getting broadcasted in the Matlock household. However, a lot of my friends at church did. Their parents would pay for it, or they'd go watch it, whatever, Showtime, and it would always be so funny because we'd show up Sunday morning. I'm talking to my friends, and granted, this time I'm 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And they're like, oh, well, my dad was mad because Mike Tyson knocked him out in 30 seconds. And he was mad he wasted $100 or whatever. So I think a lot of people were kind of expecting something like that to happen. But sadly, Father Time never loses. And despite all the videos I saw in the training montages, that Mike Tyson didn't show up. But at the end of the day, it was really enjoyable to see him and to see him in person. It's something I always wanted to do. And hopefully I'll be able to see the S25 event in person. I went to the S23 event, was not invited to the S24 event. Why, I don't know. But Samsung. And hopefully I'll get invited to the S25 event, and I can cover that for you guys. It would be really nice to go see it in person, all that great stuff, get access to it early. For the Z Fold 6 and the Z Flip 6, I actually flew up to New York, and I got to see stuff early. And that really helped so I could kind of present stuff and show y'all things as soon as it dropped, right? As soon as they made the announcement, the pre-orders, all that stuff. And pre-orders, if we're having the event start, let's say it's going to launch on the 22nd of January, pre-orders will probably start very early into January. So it'll be an exciting time. We'll know the date several weeks in advance, and hopefully there won't be disappointment. I'm expecting there to be a lot of excitement around this phone. And I know there's one other question I got asked a lot. A lot of people in the comments were like, "Is it going to have the older display, the M13 or something like that, or is it going to have the new one?" I don't know. There's a lot of mixed stuff. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of stuff that's been conflicting when it comes to rumors and leaks and stuff with this phone. And you always have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. Like, never take any of it as gospel because you'll get disappointed. Just like watching Mike Tyson and Jake Paul or watching it on Netflix. And I felt so bad. I was sitting there and my uncle was texting me, asking me how the fight was going. I'm like, oh, we're on like round 3. He's like, fight hasn't started yet on our TV. So apparently Netflix was like super, super, super way behind. So if they're going to get into the realm of live action sports, they probably need to do a little bit better job. So I think I had put a tweet out earlier saying the people who took the biggest L, the biggest loss today or yesterday was Netflix and the people trying to watch it. I felt so bad. So I was glad I took my wife and my kids. It was a cool experience. And yeah, we drove all the way to Dallas for it. But yeah, the event for for the S25, it's supposed to happen supposedly in San Francisco, and that makes sense because historically it's happened for a lot of the phone launches there. When I went to the S23 launch, it was in San Francisco. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go. Hopefully I'll be able to get to see that. But the moral of the story is take all the rumors of the next couple of weeks or months with a grain of salt. I mean, there are certainties we do know. There will be a phone. It will have the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor because that's the latest and greatest. And yeah, it'll probably have a lot of the same things. S Pen, 5,000 milliamp battery, probably. You know, I think we're still going to see 45-watt charging. But I've even seen a lot of conflicting stuff because it was like, oh, they're all going to have the Snapdragon. And then someone's like, oh, well, maybe it's going to have the Exynos, and some of them will have the Snapdragon. Who knows? Hopefully, they all have the Snapdragon. It should be here in January, and then we can all talk about it and draw our conclusions and all those things and see what actually pans out. Because we've seen things like this happen before. There were rumors for the Z Fold 5 that the front screen you could use the S Pen. There were rumors the S Pen was going to be inside of it and a couple of other things. And then it showed up and it was like, nope, 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 nope. Like none of those things happened. So rumors are cool. Leaks are cool. All this stuff that we like kind of pay attention to as we get closer to the finish line because we know it's coming. Always exciting. Always a lot of fun stuff. But don't get your hopes up too much because then you'll get let down. And that's like the moral of the story. That's like a life moral of the story. Sometimes if you get your expectations too high, they can, you can set yourself up for failure. And I try to keep my expectations low with a lot of things because there's been a lot of disappointment in life. But whenever it came to the fight, like I tried to keep my expectations really low. I mean, I saw the fight between Tyson and Roy Jones 4 years ago, and it wasn't overly impressive. So I'm like, okay, this can't be too much better, seeing as he's 4 years older fighting somebody 30 years younger. And well, let's not set ourselves up for disappointment with the S25 series phone. It should be good. S24, fantastic series phone, and generally it's been a pretty good phone. So let's look forward to the future, see what we get there, and move forward, and just, we'll see what happens. But I'm not expecting anything revolutionary. I did hear rumors, though, there might be something called like an S25 Slim, which I don't know if anybody wants that. Kind of like the rumors on the iPhone 16 Slim. Like, that's not really all that revolutionary. Who is asking for that? Because we've seen what happens when they make these phones too thin. You end up with the iPhone 6 Bendgate, where people put the phone in their back pocket and then it bends right. So we don't want any of that to happen. Anyways, hopefully the audio is good enough. I tried holding it here instead of putting it down here to get a little bit better experience. I'm in a hotel room. It is like 2 o'clock in the morning, actually 3 o'clock in the morning, because my sleep mode just came on my phone. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about this, get this out there. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the fight if you watched it. I posted some stuff on the community tab, and I'm going to post some more stuff in the community tab. We're getting into the holidays. I was thinking about it during my 7-hour trip up here, and I was like, I need to start posting some more deal stuff, like maybe once a week or once we get into the week of the sales for holiday season, start posting stuff daily to try and help you guys and gals find good deals on stuff you're looking for. So if you think that's a good idea, go to the comment section, let me know. Also, if you watch the fight, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know in the comment section, especially if you watched it on Netflix. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, but I heard that it was. So anyway, that's all I got. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. Mark your calendars maybe this time, but it looks like there's a lot of stuff pointing to the 22nd of January in San Francisco. We'll cross our fingers, see if that happens. And as always, I'm going to sign off here. I got nothing else to say. So as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.